Hi, good afternoon. My name is Nana Yeboaa. Welcome to the Nana Yeboaa Show. Today's program is very important. It's key to Nigeria, to Edo State. I have in the studio with me three professionals whose background are from Edo State. And we'll be discussing issues in terms of historical context of where Edo State is and Benin City is in Nigeria. We'll also look at the present, the democratic system that is ongoing. We will discuss some aspects of education, health, and economics as it relates to the present governor of the state. I would like to bring my guest onto the show, and they will discuss it further. So these guests are Edo professionals in the diaspora. They are not just professionals, but then they are also a collective with a view, with an agenda, with a vision, with a mission to give back to Nigeria, give back to Edo State their education, their resources to make the state a better place for all to be able to go back if they so wish. Um, can we bring my sister Nekpe on, please? Nekpe. Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Yes, sister. So Nekpe holds a PhD, right?
No, I'm not a PhD
No?
holder. Yeah, I have a masters of social work.
Oh, so your master's is in social work.
Yeah.
And I must say you are very keen on Edo State, the history, the politics. That is a very key interest of yours. Am I right?
You are right. Yeah. I'm a
Okay.
I'm a custodian of Benin history and culture in diaspora.
Beautiful. We need more custodians of African or our histories like you. That makes the difference. So
Yeah.
I will say well done, good job, and please continue because we need you, especially in this time and this era, very, very much. And
Thank you.
you're also the founder of Nebo TV. Am I right?
Yes, I'm the founder of Nebo TV here in Toronto, Canada. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever that I'm missing, please add to it.
That is pretty much what I am. I am the host of
You're
Nebo
also an
TV.
author.
I am an author of my upcoming book. The book is coming up probably next month. We're going to publish the book. I will come back here to discuss about the book. It's about my personal experience growing up in a rich cultural heritage in Benin Kingdom. Yeah. So I think I will come back to the show to discuss more in detail about the book.
You're
Probably next month.
always
Yeah.
welcome.
Yeah.
You're always welcome.
Thank you.
So, with you, we have two other people from Edo, the men from Edo. We have Dr. Let me get the names right. We have Dr. I'm just going to shorten the name. Nosa Obano.
Yes. No Sahari Obano. Yeah.
Nosa Kare Obano.
Yeah.
And we have, so he's a doctor, and then we have Felix Odije.
Yes.
Did I get the pronunciation right?
Yes. Yes.
If I did not get it, then I'm not eating by an okra anymore.
Come and eat your fufu and pancake.
Oh, Ghana Jollof. Welcome to the Nana Yeboaa
Thank
Show.
you.
And as you all are aware, Ghana and Nigeria are brothers and sisters, or senior brother, junior
Five and
brother.
six. 5 and 6.
Yes.
Ghana must go, Nigeria must go. We have
Yeah.
a history. And I explained to Nekpe earlier when we had this conversation to get this program going that yes, the other Ghana must go. I was a child and I was in Ekpoma, and so
I'm
that's
from
where
Ecuador. Come on.
some of my formative years.
Mr. Felix is actually from
I'm from
Epoma.
Ecuador.
Ah,
Yeah. Yeah.
see.
You don't get further now. Wow.
Beautiful. Yes. So I have some, some Niger in me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you lived there before. I understand that.
I claim it.
Wow.
So this topic is very important to me
Mm.
as I have historical context with Nigeria, with those states, Benin.
Wonderful.
Not only that, but also as a Ghanaian.
Yeah.
Because when there is disruption in Nigeria, Ghana will carry its headache.
Mhm.
Yes.
So and that is why it is very important. And I think as Africans, one African issue should not be only that person's issue. It should be our collective problem.
Mm.
So back to key questions, and this will be for Sister Nekpe.
Mm.
Edo professionals in the diaspora. Why and when?
Oh, okay. Let's go back to when this group was implemented. For those who have been following Nebo TV, during the past election in Edo State, many of us in diaspora intervene, especially about democracy in the state. So during the election period, I had the opportunity to work with many Edo people, and the election itself brought many of us together. It was a form of a unity among Edo citizens in diaspora. So I had the opportunity to interview Dr. Obano during the election period, and he told me jokingly that after the election, he's going to be bringing some professionals to Nebo TV so that we can be, discussing about health awareness under the Nebo TV. So after the election, I called him. I said, "Oh, I think we should continue with this program." Then I invited some other people to the program, like 4 or 5 of them to the program, and myself and Dr. Obano. So we came out with this title, Edo Professionals in Diaspora. And we started it before, at the beginning, we were planning to only restrict it to only Nebo TV, bi-weekly, bringing some professionals to the program. However, after a few weeks of the program, many people are not interested to be a part of the program, and the program is growing, and growing. And even now in Edo State, many people are following the program, they are watching. And I would like to thank Dr. Obano for bringing this idea to my knowledge after the election. I will leave it for him to continue to answer the rest part of this question.
Just 1 second. Somebody is working with a paper or something. It's causing a lot of chatter.
Okay, can you hear? Hello?
No, I can hear, but either the physician or the pharmacist is working on something.
Can you mute the person? If there's any background noise, you can mute it from your side.
Is it still
No,
coming
I
out?
can't. Chief has to. Yeah.
Whoever is controlling the app can mute
Yes.
anyone who is making noise.
Okay.
Yeah.
So exactly when did this conversation start? For instance, September, August. When did this Edo professionals start?
When we implemented these Edo professionals, it
Yes.
was during the December period, but we started the program.
December 2020.
Yes, 2020. Yes. So we started the
Okay.
program in January this year,
And
16th January 2021. We started the
Okay.
program this year. Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. So really, what is the vision for it in the next, say, 2 to 5 years? What visions do you guys have for Edo professionals?
Yeah, I will leave the question for Dr. Obano to answer that.
Dr. Obano.
I think in the next 2 to 5 years, we intend to be able to set up a telemedicine clinic where we as Edo professionals can provide service in Edo State in some subspecialties, such as diabetic care, cardiology consult, gastro, and hepatology care to our people from abroad, and be able to make sure that people like our brother Felix, who is also a pharmacist, can get involved in showing how people should be taking their medications and what time and what they should not take with their medicine. We had a show several weeks ago where he talked about medication and alcohol just don't mix.
Okay, it's good you touched on that, because I have a question on healthcare in Edo State, and how would you describe it? It's one of the questions that I wanted to know from either you or the doctor, or the pharmacist, your view of the healthcare state in Edo. And
I think the healthcare in Edo State, from my little experience going there to do work, taking colleagues from California here to do work, there are doctors there who are seeing these patients. However, I do think everybody, including myself, needs more training on our diagnostic acumen. The diagnostic acumen with some of our physicians there is still a little bit below. And I think those of us who live abroad can help our brothers and sisters catch up down there with their diagnostic acumen. And then also, people are not held accountable for some of their practices. You hear people who are doing pelvic exam, doing something different. Some of this needs to be held accountable. And then not only that, people are, sending you to their friend who have an ultrasound when you really don't need an ultrasound. And then I have a colleague here who lost his sister, I think about 3 or 4 years ago, who had a breast mass, and she was sent to have a biopsy. The biopsy was done and showed cancer, but the pathologist never reached out to the patient. And when the patient got really sick was when he finally looked at his slide and said, oh, it is cancer. And this is like 2 or 3 years that this biopsy was done. So that should have been reported to the patients, and that should have been dealt with, not at the last minute. Unfortunately, the patient died 3 weeks after that. Such pathologists should have been held accountable. So those are the few things that we, as Edo people living abroad, we need to bring back to our state, that people need to be more responsible on taking care of their patients, not only in Edo State, but all over Africa.
Yes. Right now, we're using Edo State as the beacon of transformation within the African setting. And I do believe, just like you guys are doing, when that transformation begins to materialize, many African communities or countries or indigents will begin to take that formula you have started and implement it as such. So Edo State is, I was reading a little bit about it before this interview, and it's known as the heartbeat of the nation.
Yeah.
Lepe, you want to touch on that, it being the heartbeat of the nation, the why?
Yes, Benin, Edo State, just because of Benin, Edo State, Benin City, to be precise, is an old city that has existed as an organized urban community for more than 1,500 years. So Benin is an historical and ancient city in Nigeria. So yeah, in 1897, Britain occupied Benin. Like everybody, I think many people are aware of this history of the British and Benin War. Okay, so prior to the conquest of Benin by Britain, the Great Benin Kingdom, or Benin Empire as it was called then, was a sovereign nation, was a great nation of its own. Okay, so yeah, Britain later occupied Benin and incorporated it into the large colonial territory that is now known as Nigeria. Today in West Africa, Benin is under the integrity of Nigerian soil. So Benin is a old city. Benin was named Great Benin due to how the kingdom was well organized. The activities were structured around the king that is also known as Oba of Benin. Have you heard about the Oba of Benin?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I
So,
think he was here a couple of about 2 years ago or
not
three.
Oba of Benin, no. No,
Not the above,
not
then a different Oba then.
yeah, different Oba in Nigeria. Yeah. So
Okay.
the historical context of those states, that is why in Nigeria is known as the heartbeat of the nation, because it's a city that experienced Western civilization at the beginning, especially during the early contacts with the Europeans. So we don't want to go back to our
No.
history too much. However, in Nigeria today, Edo State is well known as the heartbeat of the nation due to the historical preeminence of the state.
Okay. So still keeping with the heartbeat of the nation.
Yeah.
Now, this heartbeat is transforming democracy in Nigeria.
Yes. Yeah. This past election, we made history because, according to some people, I'm not sure about many of Nigerians, according to some people, they said this past election in Edo State was like a yardstick to measure other states in Nigeria. And it was an example for other states to replicate, because those of us in diaspora, it was the first time many Edo citizens, they came out in their numbers to intervene, to ensure that democracy flourished in Edo State. So the past election was an historical election in Edo State. After the election, we want to continue. Many of us will just want to continue with that legacy of the election. We want to continue by intervening in any issue affecting the state. That's why we came out with Edo professionals.
I'm going to ask.
Mm.
Okay. I'm going to ask the two gentlemen. I know both of you are more scientific backgrounds,
Yes.
and the lady is historical.
Yeah,
But we're looking at democracy not only as, how do you call it, a political entity, but the social, political, and the cultural factors and the economic factors that affect the citizens of Edo State. So on that note, I'm going to delve into or ask whoever that wants to answer the question, it's open to answer, that the present governor of Edo State, the one who won, Governor Obaseki.
Yeah.
Did I get the name right?
Yes.
Obaseki. So the governor, in his first 4 years, as opposed to the previous governor that was there, what do you believe was the change he brought into Edo State that made this election so passionate for people?
Good question. Mr. Felix will take that.
I love you.
Thank you. Thank you, Nana, for hosting us. I want to start by actually adding to what Sister Netman has said about why they say Edo State number one. In Edo State, an average household in Edo State if you have 6 children in a household, chances are that 5 of them will get to graduate level. We like to go to school very well. It's a norm. It's an identity of an Edo man to go to school, get education. If you are not going to be able to go to the university, you learn a trade, So we're very proud of who we are as a people. And we go to school, we learn trades. And whenever we say we want to do something, we try to aspire to be perfect. We're perfectionists, in nature. Yes. And that is why they will say Edo State, it used to be like Bende #1, Edo State #1, and the heartbeat. For instance, when things were happening politically in Nigeria, the present governor had huge task, because the powers that be didn't want him to come back as a governor. But they also have to reckon with the fact that an Edo man we don't take nonsense. We believe in justice. So it was like, okay, you know what? They came to Edo State, and at the end of the day, the feelers, the messengers that came, they went back to tell the powers that be that, you know what? The Edo people, they're not going to take nonsense. They're not going to take anything that is like other than what it should be. So, and at the end of the day, the wish of the people prevailed. And whereas these people succeeded in some other states, maneuver things, give power to the wrong people and all kinds of stuff. But when it came to our state, we stood our ground and we said, you know what, it's not going to happen. And at the end of the day, reason prevailed, justice prevailed, and everybody is okay now. We're happy now. We're moving forward, going to move forward from there. And Obaseki, going to your question.
Yes.
Obaseki is one of the few governors we've had in that state that believes in the younger generation. He believes in quality over quantity. And now the first person that will employ young men, young upcoming chaps as advisors, as commissioners, and as chairmen, chairpersons of the boards, the various boards. So he is creating a history, sending a message to other states, even at the federal and state level, that we need to invest in the youth because they are the future.
Yes. I'm going to read a little blip of an interview, a speech I heard him. He stated in an interview that his purpose is to bring the dividends of democracy to Edo State. What do you think of that statement? Dr. Sorry. Yes, Dr.
Yeah. I think that is a very, very broad statement. And then I think there are a lot of challenges that sits on the way in bringing democracy to the people. The democracy that he's talked about is a way to develop the state so people can have what you would describe as a healthy living. For example, the water supply, jobs, healthcare, those are dividends of democracy. Those are human rights, security issues, people to be able to go about their trade, go about to the farm and farm without harassment, without being killed. Those are all dividends of democracy. As a young man who grew up in the same era that I grew up, this was during the Ogbemudia's time, we saw Ogbemudia, who was the governor of the state, implemented so much throughout the state. And for those of us who came from that generation, we are also trying to emulate what Ogbemudia has done. It was during the Ogbemudia's time that we had a university. It was during Ogbemudia's time that we had a teaching hospital. The specialist hospital was well developed with physicians recruited from abroad. So the young man Obaseki is
can you
trying
just
to
name
emulate
which university
because he
it
saw those
was
things growing
and
up.
the healthcare institution that it was?
University of Benin.
No, I was asking
It was done
of
during
the
Ogbemudia's
name of the
University of Benin. University of Benin.
University of Benin.
Yes.
Okay, beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful.
University
Yes.
of Benin. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I wanted to add something to the dividends of democracy that the governor said he's going to bring to Edo State. I think he was right then, because what happened in this past election shows that he truly brought the dividends of democracy to Edo State, because other states were actually replicating the activities that transpired during the election period in Edo State. It's true. Some people were even saying that it was the beginning of democracy in Nigeria, that it is the first time in the history of the country that democracy was allowed to flourish.
The will prevailed.
Yes, and the people's will prevailed in the state. So I think he was right then, saying that he's bringing the dividends of democracy, and through his developmental strides in the state, development he brought to the state, I think that is one of the major reasons majority of us in diaspora supported him during the election period. Because prior to that election, some Edo citizens in diaspora were not intervening in any issue that has to do with the politics of the state. So,
or they were not just interested. There was nothing to attract them.
No attraction, exactly. So they were not interested, including myself. I believe that the politics is not our thing. We are just here in diaspora. But he brought a kind of a policy to Edo State that inspired many of us in diaspora to support him during the past election. Yes, I think he's right by saying that he's bringing the dividends of democracy to Edo State. He did brought dividends.
There are three things that when I hear him speak, pulls my attention to him. Not only that he is a well thought through mentally person, that he stays focused. The man, I think these three words is that the man has a vision and he's on a mission and he's got a purpose. These three words come to me anytime I see him and I hear him.
I think
that is me from the outside. For those, for the Edo professionals that you know, he has how do you call it, put this burning fire in you to give back, to make Edo's problems your problems as to previously. What do you think about that?
Well, you cannot see a young man like that, who is putting his effort, who is putting his hard work to move the state forward, and then you sit by the side and beginning to drink your coffee and think all problems are over. So he's been an inspiration to a lot of us. And based on his inspiration, a lot of us have decided to come together and do our own quota. It takes more than one man to lift a block, or to use this so common word in Africa, Oshobe. So since it takes more than one man to do Oshobe, a lot of us have decided we are going to put our own quota. So at the ending of the day, when the tree gets planted and watered, and the generation behind us can look that, yes, not only did he come as a governor, but he was able to inspire the rest of the generation to continue to water that tree.
Beautiful.
Sorry.
Yes, please go ahead.
I just wanted to add to that. In his regime, during his time, the first and the second leg of his stay as the governor now, he actually brought accountability.
Now, beautiful.
During Ogbemudia, Governor Ogbemudian's time, there was accountability, and there was accountability. We allow people not to just come, bring the money that is budgeted to the state and just share them and go to abroad, buy houses and send their children, and then the masses will be suffering. No. Now, if you get a contract, because I was home, and I'm very connected with some of the people that work with him that are in his government, and he won't. You get what you work for,
Yes.
So you get what you work for. It's not like, oh, the contract is 100 million naira and you are giving 1 billion and everything. No. And because of accountability, in some quarters, it's not very popular. And that is why we rose up and we say, you know what, we want him to continue, finish the job that he started. So everybody now is afraid. If you're given a contract, you have to do it.
Yes.
And whether have we got into the promised land? No. But at least there is that awareness. Everybody is, ready to do things the right way as much as possible, and we are all supporting him, and that is one of the reasons why I keyed into the vision that Dr. Bano and Sister Nekman brought up. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. So in terms of infrastructure, because we all know with democracy, for peace, for security, for advancement and everything else, there also needs to be infrastructure. So in terms of infrastructure, are you guys, either Dr. Bano or Felix or Sister Nekpe, either of you or all of you are aware of some of the key infrastructural works that are being done in Edo State right now?
Sorry, I can I just come in there? For reason of confidentiality, we are not really going to. We will not be able to dwell so much on certain areas, but we are going to answer the question as much as we can. Yeah, continue, Sister Nekman.
Yeah, you have said it all, because this program is specifically to discuss about Edo professionals, how we can provide services to our people back home. We know that the governor is developing the state. He has done a lot, but we are not so much prepared to discuss about his developmental strides in the state. Let's focus on the services, what we have to provide to Edo people. Those of us in diaspora. We are professionals. Some of us are very successful.
Pause for 1 second. Pause for 1 second. A question leads to a question leads to a question. I asked that to get the foundation to get to what your services that will do on top of that. You understand?
Okay.
So there's the foundation. He's building a foundation. Without his foundation, you wouldn't be in. So when I ask a question to source out what the foundation is on top of which you are building. You don't build castles in the air.
Yes, you're right.
And there are people listening who have no idea what is going on. So what message are we sending them to become part of Edo professionals here, to build upon what is going on in Edo State? Do you understand the framework that I'm working with?
We understand that.
I have nothing to do with politics.
No. We know. Okay. Yes. Now I want to come in. There are challenges. Everyone, we all know. You know, I know. Everybody knows. In the
no, I don't know all your challenges. So you have to highlight some and how your services comes in to assist. Dr. Bano touched on some, Dr. Oban, you see the names as Bano is a Nigerian Ghana name.
Ghana name in Ghana, right?
It's Bano. Yes, that's why I called him by that name.
You know that the Ghana people are from Benin City?
Yes.
Ancestral background of Benin, that they migrated from Benin to Ghana. You know that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, we'll
yes,
discuss about that when we are discussing about culture next time.
We will discuss about culture. It's just that the names are so familiar that
yes.
I called him by a Ghanaian name instead of. Yes. Oh, so we digress. So Dr. Obano touched a little bit about that. So Felix, if you want to go to the foundation and then build on top.
Okay, thank you. We know that there are security challenges, for instance, and
Yes.
We also know that things are being done to arrest part of the situation, if not all. So we also know that, right now, he created a kind of government for the people. So everybody, and that's why we're trying to do our own, because we see he's a listening governor. You know, I remember during the last election in Canada, when Justin Trudeau came to the platform, he said, "Do you know why we are celebrating this great victory tonight? Because we listened." Because we listened. You know, I was telling somebody, I said, "Did you hear what he said?" So that kind of, I said, wow. And Governor Obaseki is a listening person, a listening governor. And at the end of the day, the task, you know, is so daunting, but he has the mandate of the people. He has the confidence of the people. So he's doing as much as he can. And we are all keyed in. We want to support in whatever way that we can.
So just to tease out what you're saying, because he's a listening governor, it makes working with him or working for the citizens of Edo State in Nigeria a pathway to take. Am I right or wrong?
You're very right. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. My sister, please.
Yeah, Governor Obaseki is truly a listening governor. Even during the election period, we were able to connect with him, ask him questions about his policies and his development for Edo State. So sometimes we can call our governor, first time in the history that we can proudly pick up the phone and call our governor and ask him questions about what is going on in the state, why is it that there's no security in the state, and he will answer us. So we appreciate that about him. Moreover, what inspired many of us about the governor is specifically about his development in the state before this past election. First time in the history of Benin, or of Edo State, I mean, that his policies, it's not about just repairing roads, you understand, constructing or renovating some government buildings. We are talking about a governor that implement policies that affected those marginalized people in the society. Prior to the time of Governor Obaseki, you cannot drive through Benin City without so-called street boys or Shomole boys. They call them all kinds of names at that time. They would jump into your car. Strangers who are driving by Edo State and Benin, specifically Benin, they will jump into their car, hijack them, make their money, collect money from them. So all those things were going on in the state. When I visited Nigeria in 2013, I was outraged with what I saw in my state. I said, this is not a state where I was born and raised. I cannot drive through the middle city of Benin, Ring Road, if you know Ring Road, we cannot drive through ring road without the Oshomole boys or whatever jumping into our car, asking us to pay. If sometimes you will end up paying almost 100,000 in order for them to leave you alone.
Wow.
I said, so I cannot drive again in my own city. This is not my city where I was born and raised. So in 2017 or 2016 ending, I visited Nigeria, Benin City. I was amazed with what I saw. Okay. Those boys were not in Ring Road anymore. I can't find anybody. I was wondering, I said, what the heck is going on in this city? Where are those boys who were hijacking, threatening people?
I don't think you really wanted to know where they were.
harassing people, innocent people in the street of Benin. They said, they say new governor, this governor has cleared everybody away from the street. I said, are you kidding me? So there's a governor that can remove all these people. We have been living under the domination of these thugs in the streets of Benin for a long time.
So I think that ties back into security.
You understand? The governor came and get rid of them with his policy. So that, it's not about, that is what I said earlier. It's not about just repairing roads, constructing or renovating government buildings. We are talking about some policies that will affect the people. So that is my number one experience about Governor Obaseki. That's why I said, I've never ever in my life intervened in the politics of the state. It was my first time because of what I experienced, how his policy directly affected me. Because when I went to Benin for the second time, I didn't see all those boys in the street again under his administration. I said, this governor, I need to recognize him. It was my first experience, and since then I've been supporting him and his policy in the state.
So basically, he instilled hope,
development, policies, democracy, just like what he said that he's bringing dividends of democracy to the state. Yes, he told us, Edo people, that why the opposition was attacking him or his party members were attacking him at that time is because he refused to give them the money from the Edo State Treasury. He said that publicly. We said, okay, so they are attacking you because they want you to give them some of the money from our treasury. Then all of us said, no, you don't give them that money, and we are ready to support you. We back him up and ensure that he succeeded and he won his second term. They disqualified him from his own party. They disqualified him. So that's what happened. And when they disqualified him, it kind of intensified tension among Edo citizens worldwide, sympathy votes. When they disqualified, just like what happened to Bobby Wine in Uganda, you understand? The same thing, almost the same thing. So many of those citizens, sympathy from every corner. This governor is performing. How come his own party members disqualified him? So everybody, those who were not ready to even intervene or be a part of this Edo State politics, they were all impressed and forced to join this trend to ensure that democracy is achieved in the state. So that is basically what happened. It was very interesting, honestly, through the storm, the rain, and the sunshine.
There is this notion or this thing I heard him say, that he's known as wait and see.
Wait and see, governor. Wait and see, governor.
Wait and see, governor.
Yeah. It's a name that they gave him, a kind of an appellation.
Name.
Yeah, yes. It was an appellation to the governor for for the development that he brought to Edo State. Because some citizens said that in the morning they will sleep and wake, and when they open their door, they will just see development without making noise on social media or media first, telling the people that I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that.
So he's action-oriented.
Action-oriented. He don't talk too much. Yes.
The work needs to be done. Let's get it done. Now, Edo professionals in the diaspora. Just give me at least your top three, some three things that you are instituting? I know Doc talked about telemedicine. What other thing else do you guys have in mind implementing on the ground in Edo State and helping move Edo State to that future that it needs to get to?
Well, we talk about the health issue, and then these members also, we are trying to motivate the young people and to let them understand that it is not only the government that can provide jobs.
I'm going to pause you there for 1 second. Just 1 second. You are not going to try to motivate. You are going to motivate.
We are motivating the young ones.
Good.
Yeah. So we are bringing young professionals to speak. And we are also recognizing young people who are self-employed at home. In our program, we have a lady who is a mechanic who is wanting to take young people and train them as mechanics. We also have a young man who is training people free to become a mechanic. We have a young man also who will be speaking very soon who has a nursery. So these are a few things that we are bringing to the young people to see that you don't have to be employed by the government. You can set up your own business, and those of us here can patronize you, and you can become successful that way. Like the young man now who has a nursery, I spend quite a bit of money in having him plant things here and there. When I visit home, some of my cousins and uncle who just finished building a house, I give this guy money to go over there and do a landscaping for them. So that's motivating him. He's doing very well. He has about 12 employees.
Oh, beautiful.
And he's 35-year-old man. So those are all the things
you've invested in him
and support the governor. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Brother Felix.
Yes. You know, we have a multi-facet program. For instance, just because of the present pandemic, that is why we have not really started to hit the ground, you know, like in our vision, we want to, like the Dr. Bannon said, that we're going to get a hospital, and we're also going to create opportunities to send some medicines home, and we've mapped out a strategy that has been lacking. We sat down, we said, okay, Edo State is divided into 3 senatorial districts.
Yes.
So we have people and the 3 senatorial districts that will stand in for us if we're not there. And even going back a little bit, during the pandemic, the first wave, I am the president of ASAN United Organization, the Asians in Canada, and we came out and we sent palliatives, you know, to the people, seniors and people that don't have parents, and people that don't, widows and seniors. So, and it was very good. So we have been lecturing people. For instance, a lot of people don't know the advantages or the benefit of taking aspirin, low dose daily aspirin. So we have taught. We were on a program where a lot of people watched, and we also encourage them to reach out to people. So my relatives now, they are not taking the daily aspirin just to make sure that they're protected from
as a preventative measure.
And then we talked about the coronavirus and how people need to behave, why people need to observe all the preventive measures as much as we can. And we also talked about medication, alcohol and medication, and some of the things that people just take for granted. And they drink alcohol with some medications that will kill them or maim them or, give them some unpleasant experiences. Yeah. Because I remember growing up in Nigeria, in my state, everything was fine. The school fees, primary school to secondary to the university was free. And, life was good. And today I am here because of the investment that was placed on me by my state. So it's an obligation,
You're giving back
in whatever way. So presently, because we cannot travel, we're doing information. Information is power. The Bible tells us that the woman with the issue of blood has gone to see the best doctor. She was just waiting to die. But she heard Jesus Christ was at the press. So if she didn't get that information, she probably would have ended up dying and losing her precious life. So as soon as this pandemic draws down, we will hit the ground, we will hit the field. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Sister, time is really we've gone over time. So just a few words and then we tie it up. Yes.
Okay, let me quickly recap about our purpose, why we are here today. Edo professionals in diaspora. Dr. Obano brought this idea to my attention after the Edo State election, and I invited some other members, including Mr. Felix, who is with us here today. I would like to thank Dr. Obano and Mr. Felix and others like Madam Obaseki, Madam Obasoha, Austin Sawaru, all the members of Edo professionals in diaspora for respecting my idea, because I invited many people to the program without no hesitation. All of them agreed to my invitation and they respected me. Dr. Obano, I've been working with them for quite a while now. It's a wonderful experience. I would like to thank them for their unity, sense of unity, and especially for their love for Edo State, because it takes only a patriotic man or woman to be dedicating their time, their precious time worth money here in diaspora, but they spend hours and hours to ensure that we produce our bi-weekly shows. Mr. Felix, thank you so much. Dr. Obano, I would like to appreciate you using this medium today to appreciate everybody who are members of Edo professionals in diaspora. Thank you all.
Before we
I would like to take this opportunity to thank our guests who have been presenting all this medical information to the state. And hopefully, with God's help, we intend to put in a telemedicine for subspecialties, gastroenterology, hepatology, so that the people of Edo State can enjoy the democracy of freedom with the help of our present governor, Obaseki.
Beautiful. On that note, we have come to the end of the Nana Yeboaa show. Before I totally tie it off, I might say I am very proud of you individuals, Edo professionals in the diaspora. Nigeria has one of the largest, well-educated Africans outside Africa. To see this collective coming together with this brain work, I know it's going to be a success. And the reason why it's going to be a success is because the governor has laid down the foundation of success. He has laid the seed, and so you guys are going to water it, and it's going to blossom into a great Iroko tree. Am I lying?
No, you are not lying.
Amen.
Our sister.
Amen. Thank
When are you
so
coming to
much
take the Nigerian passport?
Yeah.
When are you going to apply for the Nigerian passport?
Me?
You were in Nigeria. You're a Nigerian citizen still.
Okay, when it gets the since I'm coming to how do you call it? Takoma with you.
That would be fun. That would be good.
Nigeria is ready to welcome you and make you our citizen.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We love you. We appreciate you. We thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And Anytime you're welcome to the Nanaya Yeboaa show on Doc TV. We're broadcasting live from Toronto, Canada. My sister Nekpen, thank you for reaching out. Dr. Obano, before I call you Bano, Dr. Obano, thank you so very much. And
thank you for
Felix,
having me.
You're very welcome. So Dr. Obano is in California and Felix is in
Toronto.
Okay.
Toronto.
Ah, yeah, local fowl.
Yes. Are you on Facebook?
I'm just joking.
You on Facebook? Are you on Facebook?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, guys. I wish you a beautiful and a pleasant day.
Thank you.
Catch up with you later.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope to come back next month for my book.
You are welcome.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Doc TV.